This is a video outlining the 6 main challenges we've identified in the cleaning of stormwater attenuation tanks. Firstly, stormwater attenuation tanks are an essential part of our sewage system in the UK and in many other countries. What these tanks do is when it rains, when there's a storm event, the sewage system has a lot of water going into it and will tend to overflow. And these diversion tanks, these big tanks, we divert the sewage system into these tanks. They fill up with sewage water to basically prevent sewage from overflowing from the drains. And then when the storm event has passed, when the rain has subsided, these tanks are then slowly released back into the main sewage system, and thus we avoid having sewage running down the streets every time it rains. The cleaning of these tanks has become more and more of a pressing issue because in the past these attenuation tanks were situated well away from dwellings or from residential areas, and so any smell that they generated, if there's any residue left after the tanks had been emptied back into the system, wasn't a major problem because there wasn't many people around it. However, now with urbanisation, with new housing developments being built, often need these sites, the smell pollution is becoming a real problem, and the EPA have issued many extensive fines to water companies for failing to meet their odour control regulations. It's a big issue and we need to clean these tanks effectively after they've been emptied to remove that residue that will break down under bacteria and cause nasty smells. So there are some challenges in cleaning these tanks. They're not simple tanks to clean, and we've identified 6 main challenges, and this video will outline all 6 of them. Firstly, health and safety legislation. Now, the normal way that you clean a large open tank is by having people go into the tank and manually clean it. Health and safety legislation is becoming more and more strict on tank entry, on manned tank entry, and it's becoming expensive as a result of it. There's a lot of hoops one needs to jump through, and it's becoming a very expensive exercise to get people into tanks to clean them. It's generally frowned upon. It's generally not considered good practice to have people entering tanks. So this is a problem. Main problem is cost. The second problem is getting it all organised in time. You've got to have a team of people there, and often this means that it won't get done. So big problem, health and safety legislation. Second problem is harsh environment. Any automated tank cleaning system that we had to clean these tanks is going to have to sit outside on a water site exposed to the elements, and it's not in a nice cozy warm factory that's all temperature controlled. It's sat there in the rain, in the snow, in the sun all year round, and needs to work when the storm event occurs. And so it has to be resilient to that harsh environment. Big problem. There needs to be a robust system. Third problem is a poor water quality. Often these sites won't have a great water supply to them. Alright, they're water treatment sites, but that doesn't necessarily mean they've got a really good clean water supply to them. And so poor water quality can often affect many types of tank cleaning systems. Many systems will need good water quality, and this simply isn't available at all of these sites. So we need a system that can work with poor water quality. And we don't want to be using the clean water to clean these. At the end of the day, we're cleaning a dirty sewage tank and returning it to the sewage system. It doesn't have to be spotlessly clean, so we don't need to have a hygienic cleaning fluid to actually clean these tanks. We just need to get the residue off, and we don't often want to use good quality water in there. It's a waste of potable water. Poor quality water supply can be a big challenge. The fourth challenge is water saving. Now, these tanks are big. Water is expensive. The bigger the tank, the more water we need to clean it. So we want to have an efficient system here, because otherwise we're chucking water back into the sewage system. Either potable water or final effluent is normally what's used. Nevertheless, it's a waste of that treated water if we're just bunging it back into the sewage system. We want to use as little of it as possible. We want to save water. Big tanks, they require a lot of water, so we need an efficient system. Number 5, retrofitting. Often these tanks will be repurposed from other uses. So there'll be tanks that will be used for other uses within the water treatment system, and we are often retrofitting cleaning systems into these tanks. This can be a problem because if the tank hasn't been designed with the cleaning system in mind, it may need some reworking. It may need its gradient changed. It may need channels being put in. Depending on what the system is, the tank may need to be modified in a variety of ways to actually make the cleaning system work. So what we want is a system that can actually be retrofitted relatively easily with minimal modifications to the tank, because that's obviously very expensive. And number 6, the final challenge is the fact that these tanks are very big. Cleaning very, very large tanks, often vast tanks that are maybe 50 or 60 meters in length and 20 meters in width, and 4 or 5 meters deep. These are big, big tanks. And this is very challenging for any automated cleaning system to actually clean them. So we need a system that can meet those challenges, that can be scaled accordingly depending on what size of the tank is, and can meet the challenges of cleaning very, very large Olympic swimming pool sized stormwater attenuation tanks. Those are the 6 challenges in cleaning storm tanks. We've outlined them here in this video. In the next video, we'll look at our storm blaster system and how this system compares to another automated cleaning system, the tipping bucket system, and how the storm blaster is, in our opinion, a vastly superior system to tipping buckets.